Hello students, on the last turn we have finished our third chapter of chemistry, that is metals and non-metals, and today we are going to start our next chapter, that is of bio, that is chapter number 15, and chapter name is our environment. Environment. Although you must have listened this word many times in lower classes, beside that we listen this word daily on TV, in newspapers and by the people around us. You must have also listened from your grandparents saying that the environment is not like that as it was earlier. So, this is the chapter our environment, and in this chapter we will discuss what environment is, what are the factors of environment and how various factors of an environment interact with each other and what impact does the environment have on living beings. So, these are the points that we have to discuss during the discussion of chapter. So, first of all, environment, meaning of environment. For this, as we know, the environment include our physical surrounding like air, water, soil, land and all organisms such as plants, animals and microorganisms and human beings also. So, the environment can be defined as the physical and biological world where we live. Definition of environment is physical and biological world where we live is called as environment. Three major components of the environment are there. These are biological, physical and climatic. Biological mean the living organism including plants, animals, human beings and microorganisms. Then physical. Physical mean the surrounding which make up the environment such as land, water and air. Then it includes climatic component or the factor which form a part of our environment like sunlight, then temperature, rainfall, humidity and wind speed, etc. So, these three major components form the environment. We see that it is not only the climatic factor but also the human activities that affect the environment of any region. Besides that, to fulfill the human needs, man has done a drastic change to the environment as most of the natural resources have been overused, misused and mismanaged. Now, in class 9th, we had also discussed about the recycling of various materials like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen and water, through which interacting biogeochemical cycles, and seen that through these biogeochemical cycles essential nutrients are changed from one form to another. But human activities affected these biogeochemical cycles. So, we shall discuss about it also. So, let us start with what happens when we add our wastes to the environment. As we know that we generate a lot of wastes and these wastes give us unpleasant smell, and it also looks bad, but as these are wastes for us, so we throw them here and there. Now, have you ever thought that we ourselves also play a role in the creation of unpleasant smell and bad scene? Whether we can play any role in reducing this smell and making the place more attractive if we follow proper methods of disposal of wastes that are generated in the houses. Now, what happens to the materials thrown away? So, an activity that is given on page number 256, activity 15.1. This activity is there for finding the answer of these questions. So, activity is to study the decomposition of waste materials. In this activity is given, if we collect waste material like waste paper, empty bottles, old and worn out clothes and shoes, then kitchen waste like tea leaves, vegetable and fruit peels, then spoiled food, then empty cartoons and old kitchenwares, etc., and place them or bury them in a large pit and cover them with soil. We will collect all these waste materials and then we bury them in a pit that is deep in the ground, and then we cover the materials, these waste materials, by the soil, and after keeping that in same position for some of the days, for about 15 days, if we open that buried place and we see what happens to the waste materials that we have buried inside, then we can find out that some materials are changed or degraded earliest of time, but some take long time and some remain unchanged. So, by the activity we come to know that two types of materials are there, and these are biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Non-biodegradable. As we have seen in activity that some materials have changed their form when they were buried in the pit or under the ground. So, the materials that can be broken down into simpler forms into simpler non-poisonous forms or non-poisonous substances by the action of microorganisms are biodegradable. Mean the material that can be degraded by the microorganism like bacteria or fungi, etc. These are called as biodegradable. So, these example of these are like cow dung, then waste vegetable and fruit peels, etc., compost, and but we see sometimes biodegradable wastes can be recycled, mean these can be recycled or converted into the required forms, and during the recycling process the nutrients that are useful for making of them can be withdrawn from various nutrient pools and are returned back to the environment or returned back to the place from where they were taken from. So, by recycling of biodegradable waste, the materials can be returned back to the environment, and two examples of these are like manufacture of gobar gas from cattle dung. From cattle dung, gobar gas plant can be operated, and that can be helpful for manufacturing of gas that can be used in household processes. Beside that, preparation of compost, that you must have listened the manufacturing or preparation of compost that can be made by using waste vegetable matter. So, as we know, recycling of biodegradable waste materials can help in maintaining ecological balance, because during this process various nutrients and minerals present in the waste can be returned back to the natural pool from where they were initially withdrawn. So, these are the biodegradable which can be recycled or that can be broken down or degraded by the useful bacteria or fungi, etc. Next is non-biodegradable substances. The substances that cannot be broken down into simpler substances are non-biodegradable substances. These cannot be easily broken down into simpler substances in nature, and the examples of these are like silver and aluminium foil, then other polythene, then plastic material, then insecticide, pesticides, etc. So, these are the major pollutants of environment, and all these are inert because they persist or remain in the environment for a very long period of time, and during their persistence in environment they may harm any member of particular ecosystem. So, the materials are of two types, biodegradable and non-biodegradable, and from these material non-biodegradable materials remain in the environment for long time. So, they create a much harm to the environment. Although biodegradable substances also pollute the environment to some extent, as they also produce foul smell. Beside that, they block the drains due to which our surrounding become dirty, and this also may cause the spread of many diseases. So, today we have discussed two types of wastes, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So, that is all for today. Thanks.